life is more than just music. The Morning Mix.
Wake up! Wake up!
Every day we bring you the hottest music. Ultimate music mix.
Hey, let me tell you something.
They call him Mr. Well Done.
Boozy, pretty thing and you bougie.
And some outrageous conversations.
You don't even have to go too far. I mean, even today, we have something called traditional healers within all our communities.
Is that like the new name for witch doctors?
No. That's what the white men made it.
You do know that the traditional healers can see us talking about them right now. Right now. In their big bowl of water.
The Morning Mix on Informanté Radio. The sound for a new age.
Low on the beat, baby.
You know it's ethnics, we the fireman. 5670, 5670. Moi shit, turn out and people tell it go to. Yes, Fatima, yeah. Let's put this song on repeat and watch you dance on the beat. Them both tell you oh shit, all above moon for real. And I know it's impossible. Hope up to Shimbulu, no this single, baby. Yeah. Make all the way on my poops on a night. Girl, I want you for June and July. I'm not gonna lie, you got a big nyash and I want it tonight. Tanoka, Tanoka, Panyoka, 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 Panyoka. Tanoka, 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 Bitarumbunda. Tanoka, 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 Bitarumbunda.
For the love of local music, always here on the Morning Mix. It's Ethnics with Tanauka. This one is, of course, of their debut album, a very good album. If you haven't grabbed yourself a copy, you should definitely do so. We've been trying to get them into the studio, by the way. Tanauka.
Tanoka.
But she says Tanaura and Tanauka both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the song's name is Tanauka. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to the morning mix. I see the threats are already coming in through the comment section. So, yeah.
Luister, ek het iemand gevloek. Nee?
Never.
Ja.
How could you?
So whoever that person is, nee? Yeah, you
Come.
know yourself.
If you can lip read, apparently you saw.
If you can lip read, nee, you can rewind the stream, nee? Yeah. You know who you are. Yeah.
Now,
Ek het jou klaar gevloek.
what was your issue with this person? What is the problem?
Nee. That's a Roviera guy, nee? I woke up because I fell asleep in front of the TV.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Because I was watching TV with mevrou. Okay?
Toe jy wat binnelanders gekeken.
Nee, ek kyk nie binnelanders nie. I don't watch soapies.
Met mevrou mos.
Nee, we watched something else. I can't remember what we were watching. So, moet my nie ander goeie vra nie, okay? So, I fell asleep. So by, I think around 12 o'clock. So at my age, you need to go to the bathroom. You need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and as a result, I had to check my cell phone. And I saw Roviera left me a message on Facebook. I mean, it's disgusting that I'm being
Trolled.
11, 12 o'clock at night on social media. It's disgusting. Yeah. Los me uit asseblief. Yeah.
Now Ro was trolling you because of the Arsenal game last night. Ek het nie gekyk nie. Ek het net I didn't even know Arsenal was playing Aston Villa, right? So in the morning I went to the canteen to go get myself some coffee. And Gideon at the canteen is like, no. But I like Aston Villa, man. I'm actually happy they won yesterday. So I'm like, yeah, Aston Villa. I used to like them back in the day. Daai tyd nog. And then I come to the office and I can see they were playing Arsenal last night. So
Nou, wat lag jy?
What was Dino? Europa Cup was the league game.
Maar wat lag jy? Hoekom lag jy? What is funny about that now?
Who beat julle vir City en dan gaan flop julle teen Aston Villa? Owens. Kos raak toch ernstig.
I have no comment. Hey! Maria.
How did the match end?
Ja. Huh?
How did the match end? What was the final score?
Nee, kom maar 1-0.
No, that's not.
But we
so
were
bad.
supposed to have like 4 penalties.
Yes.
Weet jy hierdie Maria nee. Hierdie Maria is baie aspers. Yeah. She's doing this deliberately.
What is she doing?
Kyk kom maar. Ai bukuru.
Ooh, good Lord. Maria, come sit down. Come sit down.
Shais is even leaving.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're not really talking sports this morning. The interesting parts of sports are gone, and of course the Champions League hasn't started yet. So maybe.
Hello.
We
didn't ask you to sit. Did we ask you to sit? Can you please stand for the national anthem?
Please don't sexualize me.
It's.
Thank you. That's all I had to say.
It's not us who are sexualizing you. You are just sexual. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. Morning, Maria. I'm just playing. Come on, it was a joke. It was just a joke.
It was not a joke. It's the truth.
No, but you look good this morning. Hey, you always look good.
It's the truth. I like blue.
You can see even Neville is jumpy. I believe even meer oor sy sokkerspan praat nie. Now it's just all over the place.
I like blue.
In case you guys needed more reason not to get married.
What? Hello. My marriage works for me and my wife the way it is. So please, don't get involved in our business. Oh man!
Morning, everyone.
Good morning. I guess we start where we always start, but we've been saying this virus is accelerating, and it doesn't seem like we are doing anything anything at all to sort of halt its progress?
Yeah, you said it's a dark day, very correct. My only fear is there will be darker days.
Yes.
Based on this road we're traveling on, where, like you said, perhaps not enough is being done. I don't even think it's a matter of perhaps. I think it's clear to say that, or it's fair to say that not enough is being done.
Yeah.
And not just in Walfish Bay. I mean, yesterday all the media houses were on the quarantine facility in Henties Bay.
Yes.
Where the people that were in the quarantine facility were protesting, basically packed their bags and were ready and willing to go.
Yeah.
And this is just because some of them had been in there for over a month or close to a month. And it's not, I don't want to say deplorable conditions, because that might be an exaggeration, but it's not the best conditions.
Yeah.
So you basically see them lying bunk bed to bunk bed, short distances apart, their food in between, sometimes on the floor. Not all of them are wearing masks. And it's fair to say that if one person is positive, then you've just created a cluster infection.
Yes.
In the quarantine facility. But for people to be in a quarantine facility for a month because their results are pending or they haven't been given their results.
Some people were saying they haven't even been tested.
Haven't even been tested. Some have been there for 2 weeks and they're still not been tested. And it's just unacceptable at this point.
It seems like the ministry is completely swamped at the moment. And like you say, I mean, I've seen some videos of these facilities where people seem to be very, very clustered in these facilities. And I'm like, if people are infected, how are you going to recover if you are this close to each other? And it
there's
just
free
seems
movement.
There's free movement, and people just seem to be having a good time in there. So, phew.
How under those situations, right? Imagine now you're seeing that, and you have to go for a test, and of course you probably have to go under mandatory quarantine for 2 weeks. And the government is going to decide where they put you. And then you look at the reports that are coming from around the country with facilities like situations like that. Who even would want to avail themselves to be quarantined in one of these state-controlled facilities? I just don't get it. We're doing such a horrible job after we had such a huge head start. I mean, we had a 45-day period, right? That's over a month, where we had no new cases.
Yeah.
That didn't mean that the virus was not going to get here, but it gave us that breathing room to sort of prepare ourselves better for when the situation began.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is a situation that is still largely isolated to the Erongo region.
Yeah.
It hasn't really become a problem per se in the other 13 regions around the country.
Yeah.
And
so
we
you
are
just have to sort out Erongo.
Just Erongo, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's it seems, I mean, my take, and just looking at it almost felt like they isolate people to remove them from the community.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking about how.
There's no contingency plans
to protect those people that you're
Yes.
removing from the community once they're in the quarantine facility.
Yes.
It's just unacceptable. This and not everybody in there is positive. People are waiting for their results. That's why they're in there. So to treat them like inhumanely, because really I can't find another word. I can't find another word. Nobody would want to live in such a condition for about a month or close to a month or over a month.
I'm not going to go live there.
And the worst thing is you don't have a choice.
No, exactly.
I always say, and it's something that I always tell my family, I hate to sleep in a bed that's worse than my own bed at home. I need to either have my level or something better. And the
Or
facilities...
at least close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
But for me to go and sleep in a facility like that, I'll dodge.
Yeah, I saw a comment. I saw a comment yesterday, and maybe it seemed exaggerated, but I really understood it. The person just said, "People in prison live better than this."
Hello.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I was just about to say this is
There
maybe
you
just
go.
one step up from Esau and Saki's current home. It's like just one step up.
Yeah.
You have a little more freedoms and,
Yeah.
and maybe less guards, if there are even any guards at this quarantine facilities.
Somebody showed me a formulaic bucket of what
You should see
what
what
the
they're
people
eating.
eat
Yes.
in these facilities.
Food is
And
deplorable.
the food, like Maria says, it's deplorable. There's no way I'm going to eat crap like that.
Yeah.
Seriously. I don't know the 45-day head start that you talk about.
Yeah.
Did anybody care to look at what are we going to feed these people if this thing hits us?
We're going to have to quarantine people. Yeah.
Where are we going to quarantine these people? What's the facilities going to be like? And yes, the controversy that we had on Monday. Where are we going to bury these people?
Yeah.
Nothing seemed to have been, there's not
Yes.
be any proactiveness about this.
It seems like it's making it up as we go along.
Yeah, Osama, check.
And yes, and there is nothing wrong with mostly making it up as you go because it's a new disease. I'm just saying make the correct. There was already one death.
No, but
You can't be still making it up by the second death.
yes.
You can't be making it up by the third, fourth, fifth. We're on the seventh death now.
Yeah.
You should have, after the first time you experience an incident, whether it's a facility, whether it's a death, whether it is somebody that needs a ventilator, whether it's how you're going to move a patient from one region to the next. So the first time you experience, you put a proper contingency plan in place so that it's easier to kind of just slot in when second or
Yes.
third or fourth case. But to still be learning about it,
Still
7 deaths later, unacceptable. We need to call this out. It's just unacceptable.
we do not seem to have any cohesive plan whatsoever.
Yes.
It's like, I mean, I understand the landscape is going to keep changing because, I mean, the virus is still largely new to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's still sort of learning, and it seems like it also adapts to its environment. I don't know if that makes any sense, but things keep changing over time. So it's understandable to be deviating from whatever plans it is that we make, but we must have a plan.
Yes. And the only way you can, it is okay to put your hands up in the air and say, you know what, we're really struggling. We don't know what we're doing. We need help.
Yes.
Because that's the first step, right?
Yes.
But if you're going to come and pretend that you have things under control when it is clear you don't, then you have a problem. And it shouldn't be difficult. I mean, it's government. So you have access to free world countries, for example. Look at what other countries are doing. Botswana is not far away.
Yes.
And I think Botswana, in terms of landscape, in terms of population, in terms of socio-economy issues, is
Very similar.
very, very similar
Yeah.
to ours. The only difference is it's landlocked, which perhaps protects it a little bit more because we obviously... The coastline is it's harbor towns, and that's perhaps some of the challenges that the point of entry we have the sea, but still, why aren't you talking to Botswana health official and try and
See
find
what
out
it is that they're doing that
what
is
are
working
you
so
doing?
well for
What
them,
is working so well? Help us. Explain to us some of the contingency plans.
Let's
you
start
put in
sharing
place.
ideas, yes.
Let's start sharing ideas. And it's not difficult. There's something called now, it's not FaceTime, Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Have a Zoom meeting. But do something. Don't... and I think for citizens, the worst thing for a citizen is to see your leaders not have it together. Because then you freak out. So let's hope they figure it out. We don't have time is of the essence. We don't have time to lose. We can't afford to lose more lives.
Yes. No, the race has already started. There's no preparation anymore.
Yeah.
Now everything is happening on the go. I saw the health minister basically turned down the invitation to visit the coastal towns. He says it'll affect the way he is reacting to the pandemic.
No, he said the challenge with him going is that he would then have to be quarantined for 14 days after, and that he can't afford to be out for 2 weeks.
We can
But I mean,
isolate
we
him.
can make an exemption.
We can
that's-
isolate him from everybody.
Right?
Yes.
That's my feeling. I understand it's going to come with criticism. Like if we don't isolate him for 2 weeks, because then people will be again like, "Ukwamese minister niga."
come on.
But I think if it's made clear
Yeah.
from the onset, like we're gonna go in there, and when I say we, I would like the president with him.
Yes.
Like we're gonna go in there, we're gonna practice all the security measures we need, meaning
Exactly.
Distancing,
Yes.
gloves, even masks at this point.
Yes.
It's fine. We're gonna try and have meetings with the leaders. We need to speak to the people with a distance.
Yes.
Let's go visit some of these quarantine facilities.
Yes.
Let's make it a day trip. You fly in, you fly out very,
Finish it,
very
clap.
easily. I think people, just because the deed is so good, I think people will, or at least most people, not all people, but most people will overlook
Definitely.
the 14 days.
And I think collectively as Namibians or the people from the Erongo region would feel that
You're
the
with us.
solidarity
The summit ons.
also some,
Yeah.
they would feel that level of solidarity if either the president and the minister and a team would go there and we would accept it. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't think there can be any backlash from anybody to say, you know what, the minister or the team of the president needs to be isolated or quarantined if they're going to go and make a day trip in solidarity with the people of Walfish Bay or with the Erongo region. So, yeah.
Look, I don't want to sound cynical or I don't know, but since the pandemic started, the only thing I remember getting from the health minister is an update on new cases. It's like when he's talking, he's telling us this many new cases, this one from where, how many from where. The World Health Organization has changed standards, has put out new information so many times during the past 2-3 months. You don't even hear those things from the minister. So I find it a bit baffling when he says it's going to affect his reaction or the way he's reacting to the pandemic. Because honestly, we're not really seeing what you're doing. I mean, the deputy minister can come read us the new cases if you have to go into quarantine.
Yeah, it is again a question of we can't see what you're doing, because I even see one commentator saying, how do you know they're not consulting with other countries? I don't know, but I'm not seeing
there's no evidence that
there's no evidence that they are, because why are cases still going up?
And also, why would they hide that kind of information?
Yes, exactly. Or if you are, let us know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us that assurance. Like, we have been in consultation with our brothers in the African diaspora, specifically, for example, Botswana, that is doing so well in containing. And this is some of the lessons we're learning, but we're going to try and implement them just because the countries are so similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So even if it's that, then I get some assurance. So I'm not saying it's not happening, but if I don't know, and I'm not seeing how they're responding to it, I mean, I can come to the conclusion that it's probably not happening.
Yeah.
But yes, we need to be more proactive. And yes, the minister, and by the way, I love the health minister, but this is nothing about that.
I know.
Yes.
Family double.
Just more. It's a principled man. But anyway, it is fair, the criticism that some people are saying they only feel like his only job right now is announcing infections, which is not a bad duty, but it can't be the only duty, or it can't be, and I'm not saying it's his only duty, it can't be the only seeming duty. People do need him to come on the platform, give them other things, tell us what WHO, for example, is saying right now. And we don't have to follow WHO to the T, just by the way, like in terms of the burials. Even if it's to come and say, look, WHO is recommending that we identify other graveyard, but because our death toll is still low, and because we know how much it is important for families to bury their loved ones, we're not going to implement it now. For now, we're going to have not maybe normal funerals, downsized funerals, but we're going to afford families an opportunity to say goodbye to their loved ones. We will ensure that all funerals have officials, because it's still a state that is overseeing this burial. So we'll oversee that the people, or for example, to attend relatives and family or whoever is chosen to be there, so that we can send off people with a proper, dignified burial, even if it's just to say that. But at least people are equipped with the right information. It's coming from the highest authority in terms of, well, the highest authority is the president, but I'm saying in the ministry. It's coming from the highest authority. It has weight. it gives clear direction on the way forward.
Yeah.
And let's move past it. It's packed.
Yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
done.
If we obviously look at America, it seems like Dr. Fauci seems to be the central figure here.
Yes.
Yes.
When it comes to these updates. And obviously, I'm not saying our minister needs to be at the level of Dr. Fauci.
Yes.
But then again, like we do say it, like we do ask, we need a little bit more context.
Yes.
As to this pandemic, not just numbers or figures on a daily basis, but more context in terms of so that we can also understand, how this virus moves, what to do, what not to do. Just updates concerning this virus.
Exactly.
Just to school us a little bit more on this.
For instance, how long ago was the situation of the one school kid that traveled from Walfish Bay back to Marienthal?
Yeah.
And they had to close down the school.
Yeah.
Is that school open? Did anybody? What is the status of the people who are in quarantine?
We don't even have information on the people that died. I mean, at this point.
The only thing that we had is like the one patient, which was also confusing, tested negative in Walfish Bay, was referred to Windhoek Central Hospital, if I'm not mistaken.
And then when they sent back, they realized that the results came then back that it's positive.
Yes. They went back already before the results came.
Yeah.
Huh? Say again?
Yeah, they went back on the 17th to Walfish Bay. The results came on the 20th.
It was a patient that was referred here for other ailments.
Yeah.
Okay, for treatment. Okay, at the Windhoek Central, I believe.
I believe, yes.
And the person, and obviously, as is mandatory, they took blood or
blood works. They did some.
I don't know.
Scab,
They do this.
swabbing.
Yeah, the swabbing. But the patient was sent back before those. So the results came back after the person had gone back to Walfish Bay. That's what was registered as a Windhoek case.
You see, it's these type of things.
No, iemand het gekom in die comments. He wants to share his experience with a certain doctor using herbal medicine, what to cure. En toe kom reply iemand anders like, hey, wacht jy eers op.
This is not the time.
Yeah, this is not the time for that.
This is not the time. Unless that herbal life is a cure for corona, this is not the time.
Yeah. All right, now our dearest president also does not necessarily escape criticism in this regard. I mean, I've been seeing Cyril Ramaphosa more than I've been seeing my own president over the past couple of months.
I'm not part of this discussion.
We only hear the president. Look, there's clearly chaos, and I don't know whether it's because it's different political factions that are running different constituencies in the coastal region, why these guys are not getting along. But I think it's also time for our president to step up and say, hello.
Yeah, maybe they're not getting along because I'm not saying it applies to everybody, but sometimes you get a sense of everybody wants to be the messiah.
Yeah.
And it can't be this can't be something to score political cheap points because they're cheap. It should be coming together and finding. The only problem is also, I think everybody thinks their idea is the best, which I understand. You on a human capacity, I understand why you think
I have the best idea.
I have the best ideas. My solution is the best, but it can't really be about that. It should be about coming together and like really working it out and finding the solution. And sometimes it will be trial and error, and for the most part it is trial and error. But implement one thing. If it's not working, move on to the next and try again and look at the situation and learn from the situation.
And you do remember we are still in a state of emergency, which gives our leadership some special powers. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
So I think, especially with the situation in the Erongo region, I think the president should put his finger on the pulse and give the directives if that's what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just chaotic.
It's
chaotic. I mean, yesterday the school kids marched to protest having to go back to school in those kind of situations, in those kind of conditions. In the coast.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and I think one of the most, I don't think it has ever hit home to me the way it did last night. Somebody sent me a video of a guy that I know. I used to go to school with this guy, and this is voice clip with a picture of this guy in the hospital. in Warfish Bay, where this guy basically shares his experience suffering of COVID-19, and the way this guy sounds, the voice clip in itself is just harrowing. I've seen so many and heard so many of these clips globally. Obviously, you're completely detached from it because these are the people that you don't know. But for somebody who speaks in Afrikaans, a face that you know, it's not even South African. It's here in our own country. It has never hit home to me like it did last night. And
So when our mutual friend told you what she was going through, you didn't hit home.
Who's this now? Oh, yeah. No, true. Yeah, and also that.
Yeah.
No, true, Maria.
But
also with that, and I experienced that, but actually to hear the emotions, the breathing, the hissing.
Because they're talking to you while they're going through it.
Yeah.
It was just terrible to hear that. And
Look, Neville, I completely understand. I completely understand what you're saying, right? But it's also sort of the problem that we are facing. Guys, the house is on fire, but everybody's still waiting for me. Personally, I should burn somewhere before I start reacting and feeling like, okay, something is happening here that I need to do something about. Like even me, for instance, right? I'm also detached to a certain extent from what is happening around. I mean, we can see the virus is accelerating, but it hasn't touched close to home. So you're still like, it's there. It's not there. You wear a mask now and then. You don't wear a mask. But what is it going to take? What is it going to take? We said, okay, maybe the cases need to start going up. The cases went up. Nothing changes.
More deaths.
We need to get a death. We got 1 death, 2 deaths, 3 deaths. Now we're at 7. Still nothing is changing. So what is it going to take, guys?
Let me even give you an experience. And so I went out on Saturday night after the protest and whatever with friends. I'm not going to say where we went to, but we went out.
You went to Pharaoh's?
No, I don't go to, I'm not really a fan of Pharaoh's now.
Anymore?
Or what? Never have been.
Since they started selling food?
I've probably in my life, I've been to Pharaoh's a total of 5 times. Probably in my life. 5 total times.
I think we are together there.
Yeah,
I think I went there for about 3.
I have never been.
All right, well, that's great. You're not missing out on anything. In any event,
So
this is not about Pharaoh's. We went out, and here's the thing that struck out. I had my mask. I wore it at the door, security check, you fill in. But even as we were getting in, some girl was having her glass next to the book and spilled a little bit, and it was, okay, whatever. Yeah. That process happened. Once we got in, nobody was wearing masks. Now, if you look at a night club setup or a night, is you have your drink, right? So you're not wearing your mask all the time because every few minutes you are putting your glass to your mouth. The music is loud, so when you talk to people, you get very close to them because you have to shout in their ear. People are walking up and down to make their way not just to the bars, to make their way to other tables, to go. They seeing a friend somewhere on the other side of the room. So the whole setup of a club is not even. How do I say? It doesn't blend well with COVID-19. Like, why do... It's nice, we want to jolt, but why do we even allow nightclubs during it? Because there's no real way you can... The interactions are going to happen.
Yes.
People are not going to be like pulling off masks,
drinking and then
putting... It's just, you just keep it off. That's because like I said, every few minutes or every few seconds, you're putting the glass to your mouth. It's shouting across whatever. It's dancing. Nobody's dancing with social distancing. There's a lot of interaction. It's sweating. It's yelling. So the spit is flying all over the show. But at some point I was like, even while I was there, I was like, this is literally me asking for COVID-19. I'm asking for it at this point.
Yeah.
But I left eventually. But the point is, why do we allow
them to operate?
Why are we allowing, at least under these conditions? Because there's no way. And also with alcohol, it's very difficult to contain people and say, put on your mask and keep it on, or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
We are social beings. And I checked this on Saturday again. You know, we had a family funeral over the weekend, guys. And it becomes inevitable. We were at the Roman Catholic Church in Kommersdal. We were, I think, within the correct numbers in terms of 250, good and well. But we all get to the church. Maria, I haven't seen you in a month.
Since the last funeral.
Oh, the whole year.
Since the last funeral. So I was like, hey, my sister. So we both have masks on.
Yeah.
And we give each other a hug. And everybody's giving each other a hug and console each other. And we go to the graveyard. We are there. We try to socially distance. I mean, I even looked at, at a funeral, the coffin, and you can see that they're on the program. Okay, from the car to halfway to the grave, Maria, Cubase, Shines, Neville will be carrying the coffin. Okay, from the halfway point, we will have Shines, whoever. So from the car to the grave, there's probably about 10 to 15 people who will be carrying that coffin. And we don't necessarily sanitize our hands every time that we exchange hands. And then after the funeral, we get together at the home. We still greet, hug each other.
And that time the mask is off.
The mask is off. Funerals are a Disney World for COVID-19. COVID-19 just love funerals, weddings, parties.
Any gatherings.
Our way of life is like perfect conditions for and like even imagine like sports events.
My kids are playing football. They're in full contact training at the moment at SKV. And these boys, when they score goals, they hug.
Yes.
Give each other high fives. Yes. It's full contact. And I sit there every night watching this, and I'm like, where are we going to go with this?
The house is on fire, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Is he maklik?
Yeah.
And I just feel like this leadership vacuum is what is making the situation so much worse. It would be a lot better, right? There is brand. Maar kom staan net and say, okay, luister Owens, there is brand. We're gonna move this direction. We take a sharp left, we take a sharp right, and then we head for the exit. Let's hope for the best. Maar kom ons move some as a span. Leadership.
So it's fair to say, Maria, like you do say, then clubs must just close. Yeah. Period.
Because we are social beings. If that option is there, you will go.
Guys, we were also there before. The economic impact was maybe one of the reasons why government considered that, okay, maybe these guys can open and start operating again. How do you solve that problem? I mean, the $750, I'm sure, is not going to help club owners.
Yes, but what I'm saying, if you can put in, I saw, for example, in some pubs in Europe and whatever, they've started sectioning them off, like the sitting arrangement. So you can still go out for your drink, but you're sitting across, and then it's partition. I'm not saying they have to do it completely, but they need to find ways so that they're still operating, but they're not operating in a nightlife sense where the music is playing, people are dancing, people are moving, maybe have waitresses that are moving from table to table to take orders. You bring, so people are not gathering at a bar and lining up and shouting and so is my geld and make it. You need to change the whole model. So it's not that you should stop operating, just change the model so that you still.
But now no say look. The people who come here is because they want the nightclub experience, not a lounge experience. If they want to go to a lounge, they will go to a lounge. There are other lounges around.
Then you have to close because the night experience can never work during COVID-19. It can't. It can't. I'm sorry, guys. We know this. I know this. I was out and even I know this.
Yeah. Woo!
It can't.
Of course it's not going to. Hey, Pangaman is not playing.
Woo! Barman! Double whiskey!
Nobody does that. Nobody shouts for drinks
Come
at the
Your tab is
Hello,
dance
where
floor.
I go, okay?
I say, sir, your tab is closed. Your credit card did not was declined. Is that what you want to hear from
Guys,
from across
I
the
have
room?
no idea, and it's like we say, I have no idea. That industry, at this moment in time, is dead.
The club industry.
The club industry is dead because if we need to follow proper regulation in terms of making sure that people stay safe, okay? And then the other component that you guys, that we have spoken about is people are gonna, from the club, let's have a house party. My sons would always, over weekends now these days, and Daddy, no, ons gaan hang by Cubase's join. How many people are there at Cubase's house? It's the same thing. How do I keep a 23, 22-year-old man at home if he wants to go and chill with his friends?
Hey, as jy uitgaan, moenie terugkom nie. Totdat coronavirus verby is. Go stay there. Go.
Nie maklik nie. We are saying we are social beings, unfortunately. And
But here's the thing, right? I remember we were sort of commending China for the job that they did in the beginning. Of course, apart from
China virus.
hey, leave the Kung flu alone. Apart from from obviously the communist government doing what communist governments do, the population largely was cooperative, which we are not. I mean, we can point a finger at government as well. It's not like they're doing a stellar job, but neither are we, the citizens. We are putting ourselves in those situations time and time and time again.
And it's because it's not working because it's necessarily a communist. I mean, Russia is a communist, and
Yes.
they at one day experienced like 6,000 deaths.
Yes.
So it's also not working for Russia.
It's like the population played their
Yes,
part.
it's about the population playing their part.
But then, of course, remember, this is sort of a second bout for them because they dealt with SARS, which didn't really leave China as much as the coronavirus, the first SARS outbreak in China. So I guess maybe they also had like sort of a template of what to go, of something that they have gone through before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the responsibility also falls on us, the citizens of this beautiful Namibia of ours. We are not following the rules. There are regulations, and we're not following them.
We really aren't.
Yeah.
I'm also
Ek-
personal accountability. Ek volg ook nie. Ek weet dit.
Jy kry
I know
gas.
Ek
Read the
gaan
comments.
huis toe.
Hey, Maria,
Jy
it's
kom
very
werk toe
true.
en gaan huis toe.
It's very true. We don't follow regulations.
Yes. Okay, some of the earlier comments, of course, are no longer appearing on my screen, so if I don't read it. Rika Hwanekwaya, let's start here. We heard about some steroids being helpful, especially for critical cases. Did our ministry pronounce itself on that? Nope, our minister just gave us new cases. Okay, this is the guy with Dr. Azubike and his herbal medicine. Kom ons los maar ook net vir jou. It's true that people need decent burials. Raymond Basson, and guys, how will we as Namibians know that all that sponsored money went for the fight of the coronavirus? I'm just asking. Right? Maximus Instigator Holy Boy. In high school, we had this kid that always passed tests but failed simple exercises in class. And that kid is Arsenal. I moet tog nie van Neville Hardburn gee nie.
Moving on swiftly.
Yeah. Gil Nadell. Fishrod accused James had 15 accounts. Give each quarantine facility one debit card and use their houses as quarantine facilities. Ooh, Mukurwanje. I think the ministry could do better. But I appreciate Shangula's tirelessness in eagerness to serve the country with his limited resources and possibly lack of support by support staff. We know how some healthcare officials fail us in state facilities. It can't be easy. He cannot do this alone. I mean, those things, they tend to happen if you get rid of your most competent person. Joseph Sandanyemba, I've been asking this queue
Shading.
for the past weeks. Yeah, where's Dr.
Nee,
Fico?
yes, net your comments.
Gabriel, I have a question. In the beginning, there was Adam and Eve. I'm just kidding. In the beginning, the minister used to talk about stages of corona. Is there no more stages or what? And what was a window period of 14 to 21 days? What happened? That is the incubation period for the virus, the 14 days it used to be.
But
I
it's
think
been reduced as well by
Yeah.
the WHO.
World Health Organization has reduced that to 9 days. So you should be fully infected and fully infecting within 9 days. Vasonziso. Okay. Asino Kambikiti Erastus, they used something for the pandemic. Then they're acting dead, hoping the virus goes away and rot that money. Oh, they used a little bit of the money for the pandemic and then they're hoping the virus goes away so the rest of the money can disappear. Okay, I think I get the gist of your comment. Somebody is saying Dr. Haufiku gave up. Vosia Alana Greenwood is saying Hage kan Dani na praat nie. Wil jy regtig nog elke dag van hom hoor? Soek julle weer inspiration vir nuwe songs. No, we want to hear from our elected leader,
Also,
our
that
commander-in-chief.
That was so out of pocket. So sorry, but
To say kaning na prati.
Yeah.
It's opinions, man. Opinions are like
I
asses.
know,
Everybody
but
has one.
Yeah, out of pocket.
Frans van Wyk, we will only hear from the president when he comes back to prohibit it.
Wag 'n bietjie. Wat is ngaprat?
Nee.
What is
Hallo, hallo.
ngaprat?
Sprinkled English with.
Ek weet. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is I don't want us to pick apart every opinion that is out there.
Yeah.
Then that's what we're going to spend the whole show doing. Okay? We will
His
either
Tamara,
agree.
he can speak English with his Tamara accent. We all speak English with different accents. Lost die top is Engels.
No, maybe it's not the accent.
It's die. I've heard this one before because somebody, not to get stuck on here, but
Yeah.
let me just quickly. Somebody even made this comparison. Yeah, if you hear Cyril Ramaphosa's very polished English when he conducts his State of the Nation addresses. Woo, maar hoe hierdie president van ons se Engels? Please, come on. This is not, English is not our first language. And it's not supposed to be our first language. Let's be a little bit more proud in our native languages that we need to speak. So if the president speaks with a Damara accent, so be it.
Hello, like perfect English is not the yardstick for intelligence.
I
Not
thank
at
you.
all. Yeah.
You can be intelligent in Oshiwambo.
Dankie.
That's it.
Yeah.
Maximus Instigator, Holy Boy. Guys, Valfus is the epicenter for now. So can we all just give the best we have to Valfus and Erongo so we manage the situation? And like we are sitting with, it's like such a unique opportunity to learn how to manage this virus within a community once it starts spreading, while it's still sort of confined to this small area. And instead we are fighting and
not only that, the whole dynamics of the Walfish Bay, it would be perfect because you do have sea and you do have road.
yeah.
So if you can do it proper there, you know it's a model that will work
Everywhere else.
Yes. But yeah, here we are.
A leadership vacuum. Estomik Shmeshta, good morning. Hope you all slept well. I see you, my sweet people, are in corona panic mode, right? You will be fine. You commentating from the side also. I told you from day one, the moment the virus spreads, it goes fast. All right. There's no much they can tell you. Wash your hands. Stay away from social gatherings. 10 people should be allowed to attend the funeral, just as they did before people started dying. All right. Families should attend the funeral of COVID victims. No new info you guys need besides what you heard before. They should just reassure you all to keep your faith. We are just living like usual here with the virus being around. It's the new norm. Stay safe. That is from Scandinavia. Tenanambwa.
Stuck op hierdie topic vandag.
Ons gaan nergens, jong. It's a hot topic.
Eindelijk, nee.
Morning, Anno. When is Dr. Kalumbi Shangula going to resign as other health minister in the countries are resigned or resigns cause of the COVID-19?
Such as which countries?
I have no updates
Yeah,
that are
Oslo
increasing on a daily basis. I think President Hagelulu should put Dr. Haufiku as our health minister as a belief.
No comment.
Erika Jinx Greef. Flying in and out and traveling are one of the main reasons for spreading. But still, everybody wants to fly. Really, people. State of emergency. Go look it up, please, and stay away from people if you've been traveling. Selfish, travel and move around during, or selfish people, I guess, travel and move around during this COVID.
Can I just say that the threat I don't think is people flying in anymore, because those ones there's mandatory like quarantine and mandatory testing that needs to take place. So anybody that's coming in from outside needs to do 2 weeks mandatory with testing. The challenge is within the border now, because if I'm sitting in the studio, I was out the weekend, I could be a carrier. Neville was at the funeral, he could be a carrier. I don't know what you were doing
Ek was by die huis, poor little
yeah,
old
maar
me.
ons weet nie wie was daar. And your wife, for example, was at the protest with me. She came home.
Yeah.
You could be a carrier. So we are within the borders.
Yeah.
We're now the carriers. And because I'm not, just because I was out the weekend, I'm not required to do a 2 weeks mandatory quarantine. I could be spreading it. You could be spreading it. He could be. Other people could be spreading it. So let's focus more in the community than on the people coming in.
That's what I'm saying. Like the guys who are flying in, what are we afraid they're going to bring?
Yes. And they need to do 2 weeks and test.
Yes. They're not going to bring a different strain of the virus, which we don't already have here.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyway, Semi Hairumbi, the only thing that can save Erongo is a shutdown. And then Joel is saying, you want to kill people with hunger. People have no food out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senye.
Yes. You got to Gemini the scales. Gemini.
Balancing act.
No, Libra the skills.
Oh, Libra. Oh, my goodness. Makwa van Makwa, good idea, but it's too late already. Yes. It's like I'm stuck on Maria's blue dress. Dr. Haufiku would handle this situation better than the current doctor. It's speculation. I mean, at this point, it's speculation. Lucia Shivede, that's kind of a Swapo and soccer coach problem. Make mistake and they want you down. Leave old soul to give numbers. He loves his job of numbers. Okay, let's not make a mockery of him. That's not the idea here. Anyway, Joshua Hadula, Erongo is a ticking bomb. Parker Pux Ambro. The same way the government don't take the COVID-19 serious, the same way we all don't take it serious. Okay? Bobo van Wyk, where is Dr. Haufiku? Where is Dr. Haufiku? People still think COVID-19 is not real. Government just wants to marginalize us by enforcing masks usage on us. But what does government gain? They're not selling us masks. What do they gain from us wearing masks? If you think they're trying to force or marginalize us by making us wear masks, what is the end game? Such a USA argument.
Yeah,
let's not politicize things, right? There are things that are being politicized, which we're already having a problem with. Let's not also fall into the same trap. My bochters, as I believe. You say they want to control our movement. A lot of conspiracy theories out here. Apparently, the tests are containing the virus. We are in so they take that thing and stick it down your nose and make sure the virus is deep in there. Good one. Roviera, why on earth are people even still clubbing during this time? Balance me real quick. Why?
But the nightclub is open. Majisrech, we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We really should not be.
Everybody's calling out for Dr. Haufiku here. Very irresponsible in my opinion.
I think can I say something? I like Dr. Haufiku and yes, maybe he would have been doing a better job. Maybe at this point anybody would have been doing a better, or maybe he would have been doing a worse job. It's very difficult to say. But for example, one of the issues I had with Dr. Haufiku initially is when he advised against shutting down the borders because he had just returned from Addis Ababa from some conference where it was not advised to close the border so early. And then government followed his instruction not to close the borders. And right after that, I think a week after that, we had the Romanian couple that flew in because the borders were not closed when I believe they should have been. So, yeah, it's easy to glorify somebody because now they're not in a position to get attacked, but he also made some fundamental mistakes, I believe, fundamental mistakes in his advice to government not to close the borders before the COVID-19 arrived in the border.
But that is, everybody was making mistakes in the beginning because we're all learning. And for instance, that is the same thing that Trump's team tried to do with Dr. Fauci, with their opposition research document that they put out, trying to discredit him from making mistakes initially or making mistakes along the way, which of course every expert on this thing, every proclaimed expert has made mistakes because everybody was learning or is still learning as we go along.
Yes.
It's like, we do understand that Dr. Haufiku was he also made a couple of errors. He was not faultless, but he seemed to have a better grip on the situation.
Such as
at
what?
the time.
I'm saying, for example, now, what, okay.
I mean, now it's just speculation, like I'm saying. We can only talk of the little that he was involved with.
Yeah, but it could be
beginning.
based on something. Somebody could very well say, I think Dr. Haufiku would be a better leader because he, like with Fauci, you can say why he would be a better leader or why government should be following him because he's advised on A, B, C, D, for example, wear the mask, should be mandatory, close the gambling houses, do this. Based on his advice, that's not being followed. You can see that it's sound. With Haufiku, also could be that he's advised on certain things that were not taken up on that could have worked better. But I'm perhaps more curious on people that are saying Haufiku, and I'm not saying he wouldn't be I also like Haufiku very much. I'm just saying, what has he said that perhaps wasn't followed that you think makes him a better leader? Because if he's saying the same thing that, for example, the minister is saying, then how did you come to that conclusion? Or is it just because you prefer him and at this point you prefer any leader? That's what I'm trying to understand.
It's like, we just don't want the ones that are there. We want other ones.
Dice moet gaan. Bring it, so I don't know.
Bring us Dr. Itula. I just had to throw it in there. Alina Justus, all right, the situation in Walvis Bay. Can you imagine sitting in this situation with Itula as our president? Good Lord. Alina Justus, the situation.
Shut up. Let me talk, okay?
Yeah.
The situation is under control.
Hey, don't make fun of my guy.
Let's just walk to Walfish Bay now. Let's just walk. Yeah. Come and show.
Why did I even bring up his name? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Alina Justus.
Hake does not know what he's doing at the moment. He does not know.
The situation in Walvis Bay is really traumatic. with a high level of stigmatization, it's even worse. All right, guys, let's not take chances. COVID is real. We should hoy for the return of Dr. Haufiku. We're throwing out doctors, Mos.
The cure is in the teeth.
The cure is in the teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Never. Out of pocket. Completely out of pocket.
Guys was a dentist.
Martin and Utoni saying the show is no more a morning mix but a COVID mix. Hey, this morning we just had to. I mean, guys, we
can we move on?
We're living in interesting times right now.
Can we leave it also? Yeah.
All right. Okay. So due to popular demand, we have to move on from COVID-19. But it's not going to go away. We'll be back at it tomorrow. So we have about 15 minutes before we have to close off the show for this morning. So let's touch on some of the other news from yesterday. For instance, former Fisheries Minister Mr. Bernard Esau, and his son-in-law, what is his name? Tamsen. 51 Hatui Kulipi. Yeah, they were in court for I think final submissions before the judgment or the ruling on their bail application.
Today, yes.
Yes.
Yes, final submissions.
Judgment is today.
Yeah. Standard procedure, you basically just put your statements before the court. Of course, there are lawyers arguing that they're not flight risk that their families are here, they don't have offshore accounts, or they don't have accounts outside, they don't have properties outside the country, and therefore they will still stand trial. That it's in their interest to stand trial because they say they want to clear their names and so forth. The state is obviously arguing against it and put some points. The state is, for example, just saying that they still haven't really explained how they're not involved in this thing. And
Yes.
for example, put Fiti on the spot that it is a fact that he did show his wedding pictures to the whistleblower, so that he can, benefit from this.
Look at who's at my wedding.
Yes,
Look at
exactly.
who's my father-in-law.
Exactly, type
Yeah.
of thing. So it'll be interesting to find out. I know there are people that obviously don't want them to get bail, but I mean, it's their constitutional right to apply for bail. And again, the Constitution does say you're innocent until proven guilty. I think the denial of bail, there's various factors. There's the interference with investigations, whether they're
Trying
flight
to
risk.
tamper with
Yeah,
evidence.
trying to tamper with evidence. And we know some of them have not this specific tool.
Yes.
But others have been accused of trying to tamper with evidence. And then obviously there's also the issue of whether or the public interest, which is also something to consider.
Yeah.
So I think it would be interesting to see what happens today. I mean, it's not. I don't think anybody has really won a clear argument where you can say, like, I'm betting money he's going to get bail, or I'm betting money he's not going to get bail. At this point, I think it could fall on either side. So, yeah, we'll find out today. We'll know today.
Why are you guys blaming the guy for showing his wedding pictures? I mean, anybody would
Name dropping.
name drop. If you have an opportunity and
To show who you married.
Let me just go on record here. Anybody would, if you have the opportunity to name drop and say, I know who, to obviously create a little bit more influence.
Om 'n deur oop te maak.
Om deur oop te maak, you would do it. And I think the moment these Icelanders saw him on this picture with the minister, it obviously added credibility to this guy's level of influence that he could have with the minister.
And
So,
that's the issue. That's why they're in jail.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the crime.
Yeah.
And the bail applications. I would actually start feeling, I don't know if I should say sorry for some of them. If anybody would just come out and just say, we messed up.
Askis.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear that out of anybody's mouth.
Askis toch. Now you want to come tell us, no, I'm innocent. And these guys are implicated in financial crimes, right? And they are complaining that the state is not allowing them access to their monies so they can pay their lawyers.
Is there anybody in particular that you or me have that sort of feeling towards?
That what?
That you feel, you sort of feel a little bit, your opinion of this person is subjective, like you sort of feel sorry for this or that particular person.
Look, for me, what they did is wrong and that's it. But
Yeah.
on a personal capacity, I feel obviously sympathy towards more that I had like better relationship with. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Ricardo, who for me is like what somebody I would call a God-fearing man. You understand? I know what he did is wrong. And yeah, it should be. But it's, of course, I can't. And I've divorced those two, how I perceive him and what he's accused for. And that's the only way I can make comments on it. So I need to divorce those things. But otherwise, he's somebody I got on very well with, didn't personally have an issue with.
Yeah, somebody mustn't ask me about
And even people like Esau, because of his age, and because he's sickly, but I need to divorce. It's very important that I divorce those two, because what they did was just so bad and it affected so many lives that I need to separate my, let's say, personal sympathy towards some of them.
And you're right about it, and that's why I try to detach myself emotionally from this, because again, like with Ricardo, Ricardo was a guy that I know well over 20 years, 25 years, and if they would stand there in front of me, I would just, man, lost toch die bra, laat dit net eens toe gaan. Because my feelings about this is very subjective because Ricardo has been a friend of mine for a very long time. And I
Doting father,
and I just keeps on feeling like, nah man, my bra was caught here in friendly fire. And he doesn't deserve to go through this. Then separate the issues. Then you come to me and say, Neymar, Ricardo bought a house of $3 million cash at von Finkenstein. And this much money was transferred to his account or that account, and then you completely throw me out of the bus. So it's very, very difficult. And I think each and every one. And then again, a statement that I saw somebody was making yesterday on social media who said, you know what, you keep on saying that the minister is a doting father. There are fishermen out there in Walfish Bay who are also doting fathers.
That's what you need to remember
And
at the end of the day.
all these doting fathers has lost their jobs because
Or their
of this.
lives.
Or their lives. So there's no holy cow doting father above another one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's it.
Look,
It's very important to separate.
I do not know any of them personally, but also from just gauging in the news that has been trickling out about these guys and about their crimes and all this since the whole fish rot scandal started unraveling. I would think also maybe Gustavo's familial situation is the one that draws most sympathy for me. But honestly, I'm indifferent with all of them.
Yes, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be.
All right.
Jy ken net nie na mense nie.
My broer,
Dis a mogo.
has Gustavo ever come to Herero Mall? Where are we going to meet? Hi, Bo. Okay. We are, of course, going to give you an update tomorrow on the ruling. You can also check it out on Informanté News on our Facebook page. During the course of the day. Let's check out some other quick hits. This one comes from Martin M. Utoni. Talking of Fitlas, Adebayo went for Fiti's ex. Guy has a thing for Namibian girls. Shines, you and Delisha are friends. What is going on here? Come on, can't you be that 8 loss? All right.
Leslie James LeBron. Praat van Sisa. Julle is net bang julle.
Wie? Sisa Nemanje. We have nothing on Sisa.
We're waiting for the. It's 28th of. Sorry, it's next month.
Next.
What's the date? Is it 28th? Sorry, is it 28th? 14th. 14th next month we will know.
14th of August.
Yes, because the case was postponed because the presiding officer is not feeling well.
We don't know. When you say next month, we don't know because we just remember January, February, March, lockdown, December. And that is the calendar for this year.
Hey, Bobo van Wyk.
Ja, lees comments, jy moet comments lees.
Ek sal nie lees.
Tot jy level oor aan die
Bobo
bio
van Wyk
praat.
sê. Hey, Bobo van Wyk gaan man.
Richard Ramazia is asking, is Thompson still Esau's son-in-law? That is a ngas kontopio. Through thick and thin, Sejel.
Dis nie maklik nie.
Hey, Richard. Julle die hart so maar. Die mense die hart.
Yeah, Adebayo is apparently back for season 2 in Namibia.
I saw some things on social media, but I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment.
You're
Wat
touching,
het jy gesien?
you're touching a nerve with me.
No,
What
it's-
is your story?
No, it's not the news that excites me to the point that I need to, get involved in it. It's yeah.
But you must give me the stuff.
No, he just posted another Namibian girl on his social media. Apparently,
Adebayo?
Yes.
Fiti's ex.
He didn't say it's his girlfriend. He
Yes.
just posted a picture saying she looks nice, and everybody's like, "How could you embarrass Delish like this?" Or
So who's this girl? Is she well known?
her parents are well known. It's
Yes.
not
Hello.
something I want to entertain.
We should not hide it.
Luister.
Toch.
Maria.
As Thingy is a daughter.
Ek sê nie jy
Thingy.
moet die ding entertain nie. We're not asking that from
It
you.
seems to be what is the
Our first lady.
our first l- yes our former, is it not former first lady's son,
First lady.
is it?
First lady's grandchild.
Yes, that's that.
Meme Kovambo.
Yes.
Meme Kovambo's grandchild.
Yes.
But not
Not
the
with-
son, not with the president.
Oh, okay, I
Other-
understand.
The first one.
Yeah,
from-
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, what is this girl's name?
Loss, she's already taken. She's now Miss Adebayo.
We don't even, guys. We don't even know if he was posting her because it's his girlfriend. It's like let's start there. I
Is this
don't
social
know.
media trying to make fodder out of this? So yeah, he posted a picture.
Come
of
here,
her.
he saw with his man bag.
Kenny.
Adebayor.
He's not allowed here.
Hateration,
Come
holleration.
on, he must have his corona certificate before he wants to come here. No bail, but there are a lot of people involved. Caesar should open his books, says Everett Smith.
That's what we want.
Vosia Alana Greenwood. Are you guys sure you want to see what is in Caesar's books? I don't feel sorry because there is no remorse. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
COVID-19 fish rot. COVID-19 fish rot. COVID-19
It's not so me, bro.
fish rot. That's the way it is. Praat van Caesar Yelle is Jalabang. Oh, it's the one that you read. That's Adebayo you saw. Back to the community. Yeah, man. Why can you come say Yelle on the
Come on, order, please.
Semi-fly.
Kyk hier, so kom maar Ricky Lou het gachau Neville Bason. Net bietjie, maar hy het gachau. So kom ons bly na. Who's Ricky Lou? Isn't Ricky Lou like a soccer player? Who is Ricky Lou?
Ek ken nie vir Ricky Lou nie.
Ek ken net Richard Lou. That's what we used to call Ricky
Oh,
Lou.
he probably means Ricardo.
Ah.
Yeah, a nickname for a kilo. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's what we are saying. You must separate. You must separate.
No, true.
Joshua Hadula says, Caesar sal die grote expose. Los vir Caesar 8.
Nee, los die grote uit.
Freedom Sati. Come.
Wat se los vir Caesar uit?
Those guys were selfish to chop the money alone. You see, Maria, what we were talking about the other day. It's not they were selfish to chop. Just to chop alone was the problem.
Should have been a Robin Hood.
Yes.
Both dimensions.
Spread that. Let's all eat.
Communities.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, they shouldn't be chopping money, period.
Maria, ons ken wie sy is. Ade likes nam flavor. You should come and play for Orlando Pirates or Tigers. Giving back to the community.
Star. Stalile.
Ek is klaar met julle. Kom ons gaan. This cannot be how my day starts, guys. No. Nee. Stay me Sammy. All right, what's up for the rest of the day? What else do you guys want to share quickly before we hit the road?
That's it. That was not Kanye West.
Oh yeah,
Many
yeah,
guesses.
but
Yeah.
that is something that we're going to have to sit and actually talk about.
Yeah.
But
But stay.
it's a dire situation.
Yeah, we will find out about whether people will be granted bail today or not.
Yes. that is the
Right.
big story.
So far, they've been taking L's completely. I don't think they've even experienced a single victory since their arrest last year. So it will be interesting to see what happens on that. We will obviously keep you updated on not just Informanté Facebook, but just Informanté platforms. So whether it's Twitter, whether it's website, whether it's Facebook, wherever you get your news from. But I think, and then obviously we will also keep you updated on the COVID-19. I know somebody says just fish rot and COVID. Well, you know, that's what's trending.
Yeah.
And then, we'll see what else comes up.
What is NICC?
Ai nakusho.
If somebody says NICC debacle,
Is it not NCAA debacle?
Yeah, it's probably the-
maybe that's what you wanted to write, Alina. And Josephson is saying, I don't hate corruption. Every day I eat from it.
Okay.
Ons ken waar jy bly.
Yeah.
Is that an admittance of guilt?
Ons ken waar jy bly, ja.
Yeah. So otherwise it's midweek.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Vandaag is Woensdag, yes.
Vandaag is Woensdag.
Just Neville, parting shot at you. Guys, can we talk about soccer in Namibia?
It's a dead subject at the moment. Yeah.
Well, once one of those guys agrees to come and sit and talk to us, we'll talk about soccer.
Yeah.
And also once they can produce a COVID certificate. We're not taking chances anymore in the studios. Nonsense.
And just for your information, the two of you, I put in fuel in my car last night.
Waar het jy die geld gekry?
Nee, is nie julle se besigheid nie.
Waar het jy die geld gekry?
Nee.
Het ons gepay, no man now.
Nee.
Saba 20 man.
Man, say hustle.
Wil je ook geen menen inzetten?
Nee.
Alsjeblieft, man.
Jill het mos gelach hier so gister, making fun of my $50.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I hustled.
You know that $50 would
How much
have...
did you hustle? Another 50? Hoeveel heb
Ik
je
wil dat
ingezet?
weet, ik wonder het.
Hoeveel heb je ingezet?
Joel, what comment did I not read again? I thought I read...
Huh? Hoeveel?
I thought I read all of them.
Ik laat ek nie praat nie. Ek het amper iets gesê.
Hoeveel heb je ingezet, man?
Kom ik zeg voor jou, never.
Bye-bye.
Next time.
Bye-bye.
That $50 would have taken you further if you had taken a taxi, than putting it in your car.
You're going to take a taxi to Elisenheim.
Ja, en terug. It's $28.
It's $60 to listen.
Of course, what the taxis are listening to will rave for
Have a
12
nice
rand
day,
or
guys.
14
Come on,
rand.
meeting for fuel money. Business meeting for fuel. Look, times are tough. You gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, guys, we're out of here.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
It's woensdag, so yeah, Tatanauanes and Meneer Kaufman, they will be joining you on Informanté Radio on that Facebook page at around 12 o'clock, so make sure you stick around for that. Once it's 8.
Every day we bring you
The hottest music. Ultimate music mix.
You won't believe I'm not something you will need.
Yo, check this out, man.
it's some outrageous conversations.
Did you know ek het nou amper iets gesê? So, are you saying Namibian men were not romantic?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Huh?
Yes.
Why? What are the values of Namibian men? Is there anything good about us?
Yeah, I'm stacking up.
She is striking a blank.
You know what?
Ek praat nie verder met jou.
Let's get to the real thing. The Morning Mix on Informanté Radio. The sound for a new age.
Shines.
Don't tell you what.